So here's the thing, right? And I can tell you this in hindsight, having been on, and I've been on some big shows, and I've had some big media placements. I can tell you that the typical podcast guest experience from oh boy, they're going to promote me to their audience and I'm going to make all this money, right? It's pretty underwhelming. The authority you gain from your media placements, whether that's being a podcast guest or whatever it is generally less valuable than so you get more value from the authority of being in that podcast than you do from the visibility of being on that podcast. So in other words, you're going to get way more value from your own audience seeing you in the interview chair than this podcaster's new audience. This new audience that's hearing you for the first time, Ashley, I recognize that there are people listening to our conversation right now. They're hearing me for the first time. They're like, okay, cool. I don't really know Josh that well. I'll keep listening, and the jury's kind of out for now. I mean, he seems kind of excited about what he's talking about, but I don't know. So they're not going to buy my stuff. Honestly, you're not. We're at the beginning of the relationship. The best you can hope for is you can get people to follow you somewhere and kind of start paying attention to what you're doing. So let's have realistic expectation. But that said, when you appear as a guest, how you use that, when you appear on TV, for example, it's what you do with that matters. Can you repurpose that, a dozen, 2 dozen, 3 dozen different ways to your own audience? It's a great win-win. The TV station's thrilled that you're promoting the segment, promoting their, it's totally symbiotic at that point, right? But again, in terms of people taking action, it's going to come from your own audience. And so I share that to say, do as much media and podcast guesting as you possibly can, because it's the greatest opportunity out there for getting your own audience to take action and to introduce new people to you.
Absolutely. And, the other good thing about it is that the more podcasts that you're on, the more that you're boosting up your search engine results, you're boosting up, like you said, your authority, you're showing people, I know what I'm saying, I know what I'm doing, and I'm giving more people the opportunity to see that is true. And that's one of the reasons that I wanted to have you on, is because I have been watching you and what you've been doing. And I think it's amazing how many podcasts you've been on. And, you said that anybody listening to this might not buy from you, but they should, because everything that you do, it just makes sense. Like, you break it down in a way that makes sense. And